when I met her on an elevator on its way up to the hotel room of my fiancé. But I never made it there, cause she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a baked potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. We caught the red eye to Dubai. She was blowing through my dough like it's going out of style. In general, I was a sensible guy, but that guy died when she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a baked potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. Go. Well, I lost my job and all of my money, most of my friends and half of my mind. So messed up, it's a little funny. And I thought for sure that she was mine. But now I'm alone, just trying to get right, picking up the pieces of my busted life. If she walked into this room tonight, I'd say, baby, won't you come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a baked potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. I wanna hate her, but I love her instead.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I'm Matt, your Kohrs, and together we are the show. It is a beautiful Thursday, I want to say April 18th. Might be right, might be wrong, 50-50. There's only two options. Either I'm right or I'm wrong. It's 50-50, but I think it is Thursday, April the 18th, which means we need to crush it in the market today, crush it in the market tomorrow, and then we get to go to a local Texas roadhouse. Now, obviously, I did say it's a beautiful day, but if you're where I live in the northeast of the U.S., it is not. I'm looking out the window right now, and it is actually a particularly gloomy and dreary and kind of crappy day, but it's all right because we're going to heat it up in the stock market anyway and make things a little bit better. Folks, I hope you had a great evening. I hope you made a buttload of money yesterday. There was a nice sell-off, so if you were kind of a trend following bear yesterday, you probably crushed it in the market. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of a review of that, but more so I want to get into the major macroeconomic things of what's going on with the Fed, what's going on with inflation. I want to get into some of the other things that are clearly having an impact on the stock market, such as the geopolitical situation between Israel and Iran. Got an important update there. We are in the middle of earnings season, so I want to talk about what's going on with TSMC. I want to prep you up for Netflix this evening, and then also I want to talk a little bit about not really the concept of go woke, go broke, but I guess go woke, get fired. So we have some strange firings at Google and some videos. So I want to get into all of that with all of you. Obviously, we'll review some trades from yesterday. I sold some calls, a classic CCS, a call credit spread, made about $1,000, maybe about $1,500. So I'll review that trade. If you guys have any desire to be in the trading Discord to trade with me, the first month is 100% free. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, some crazy updates from NPR. The president or the CEO of NPR was basically saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't focus journalism on truth, but focus journalism on what people want, and truth should be like a lower consideration. So that's a crazy video. You guys did send in some things to react to, so we're going to do that throughout the day. We have a fun-filled schedule. We have a fully packed schedule. So before we get into all of it, thank you. I appreciate you guys getting up. I know you already crushed the stair stepper this morning, so the fact that you're willing to listen to me post your stair stepper session, fully appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to drop a like button. And with that being said, let's rip it. Stock futures tick higher as traders try to recover after S&P 500's fourth losing day. So yeah, pretty bad. down, really down on Monday, a little bit more down on Tuesday, and pretty bad yesterday. But clearly, ever since we clocked in this all-time high on Thursday, March the 28th, we've had nothing but lower highs, lower lows. And as you can tell, the major culprit started right here on Thursday, April the 4th. And for those of you who don't really recall what happened on that day, that was the day that the Minneapolis Fed president, Kohrs, said, hey, we actually might have no rate cuts this year if inflation doesn't come down. Folks, if this is your first time in the show, you got to know that inflation, well, you probably know it. I mean, if you buy anything ever, you know inflation is still very, very real. So Kohrs was saying, hey, man, if it doesn't come down, we are not going to blink. We are not blinking whatsoever. We will not cut rates until inflation actually comes down. And obviously, that was a brutal blow. The market tried to recover, a little bit of choppiness back and forth. And then obviously, the bear camp ended up winning out. Market started to vomit, broke below this 48 EMA, 2-3 closes below it officially. A little bit of strength in pre-market right now. Will it hold? Your guess is as good as mine. Obviously, yesterday we saw a continuation in the sell-off because ASML, which is an important company in the world of semiconductors. So if you look at ASML, they make the machinery that is required by Taiwan Semiconductor to create the chips for the likes of NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Qualcomm. This whole industry is what is really the overall market, but specifically the tech sector, keeping it very, very high, very, very elevated, and arguably in somewhat of a bubble. But the fact that it kept growing and growing and growing, well, okay, the whole sector was looking great. You could check it with SMH. So this is the ETF that tracks the semiconductor world. So this was ripping, which caused the Qs, aka the NASDAQ, to rip, which then caused the overall market to rip higher and higher and higher. Well, yesterday was the first day that the absurd bull story started to show a couple cracks in the foundation. ASML, who makes the machinery that then is used by other companies to fabricate the chips. So they make these giant pieces of machinery for chip fabrication, and then the chip fabrication is then used by like TSMC, and then obviously their, I guess, contracts and all of their work is going to be for the players, the big players such as NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. So anyway, ASML reported yesterday, earnings not so good. That caused the Qs to take a bit more of a hit. And actually, congrats to everyone who played this downside gap fill. That was a beautiful one. The high from Wednesday, February the 21st. So the Qs ran into that. That was a perfectly set up technical play. Yes, just so you guys know, there is still a downside gap fill on the SPY to 497.37. That is still very, very, very much in play. Will it hit today? I have no idea. I'll tell you a little bit better about my vibe on the day after I see the opening session. But anyway, that's the story. This past week, really the past 2 weeks, has been the story of, is this crazy bullish run finally coming to an end? Are we going to go into either a bearish phase, a choppy phase, something? And as of now, the answer seems like a pretty evident yes. Now, obviously, this could be a fake out breakdown. It's going to be somewhat dependent on what happens with inflation and what happens with the remaining of earnings season. And on that note, we should probably get into everything that's worthwhile to pay attention to in the short term. Now, the number one thing is the rising political tensions with Israel and Iran. The president of Israel is caught between hitting Iran and heeding allies. So basically, for his own people, he needs to stand up for them and be like, hey, you can't do that. You can't fire missiles at us. But then the rest of the world is like, please, no World War III. So he's in an awkward situation for sure. And it's not being made any easier by the president of the United States, who is very evidently losing his mind. I understand that some people in here, probably statistically half of you in here, do not like Trump. I get that. That's fine. But just because you do or don't like Trump doesn't mean you have to like or dislike the other party. Obviously, in this case, Biden, who I think as reasonable adults, we can all safely say he's kind of losing his mind. I mean, that's what happens when you're above 80 years old. This isn't specific to him. This is more of just human nature. By the time we hit 80, you've had a pretty good run. And if any of your faculties are still operating at even 70, 80, 90% of like their prime, yeah, that's good. unfortunately, his mind is deteriorating. Like, even if you watch his current videos relative to when he first started politics, you could tell he was on the ball. You could tell he knew what he was talking about. He was fiery. You could tell his brain was functioning. Now it's a little bit different, and every single time he talks, he makes a very serious mess up.
And I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently when Israel was attacked. And I made
So basically, he said, make it clear that Israelis don't move on Haifa. The issue is Haifa is not only a city in Israel, it's a well-known city in Israel. That would be like saying, hey, I made it very, very clear that the U.S. should not move on Philadelphia. So that's a bit awkward. And yeah, I get it. I mean, folks, you watch me. I misspeak commonly. The issue is the occurrence, and also I'm not the person in charge of the free world. So with this, when every time he speaks and he mess something up, obviously it brings into question his like really senility. And then when you have to question that and also appreciate the power that this particular person has, it's a bit of a scary situation. So anyway, this just happened. Obviously, the major thing to pay attention to in terms of the global political situation. But then we also had this. I just thought this one was a bit more funny, so let's give this one a listen to.
I've never thought I'd see a time when I'm going through a neighborhood or a rural town in the West or something and see big signs that have a Trump sign in the middle that says F. Biden, and having a little kid standing with his middle finger, 7 years old, 8 years old. Well, I promise it happens all the time. It's not who we are. I've never thought I'd see a sign.
I just want to meet this 7 or 8 year old who apparently has the balls to flip off the president. And obviously that is just being taught by a parent. No 7 or 8 year old is so in deep on the political situation that they're going to have that strong of an emotional response. I'd bet any amount of money that they're kind of just echoing what their parents are telling them, but still funny. It's really funny when you see any kid flipping the bird. I don't know why, but that's just a classic form of comedy, is just a little kid flipping the bird. That's just a funny one. So anyway, that's not the only craziness going on in the world. Arguably more important, your chocolate is about to get more expensive. It's already been getting more expensive. Why the world of chocolate is in crisis. Chocolate plants are shutting and market liquidity is tumbling. Supply of cocoa beans will trail demand for a third season. So if you look up, it does trade actively on the futures market right here. We will look, I just want to make sure we're on the right one. Cocoa is flat out squeezing. It's been squeezing for quite a while, but if you got into it at the start of the year, let's go exactly to the start of the year, you would currently be up 153%. Chocolate is ripping, and what's crazy is it was actually ripping before then. Like if you got in maybe at the start of 23, you would currently be up 300%. So this is the third season in a row that they've just had supply issues, clearly not matching demand, and prices are going higher and higher and higher. So unless something's fixed, it looks like our hot chocolate is going to be a bit more expensive this upcoming winter season. But yeah, if you're looking for a crazy squeeze play, oddly enough, not really in the equities market, more so in the commodities market. And like I said, just adding to the global turmoil. It's one thing when we're facing World War III in the face, but when we're facing World War III in the face and we can't afford chocolate, I think that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Honestly, I just don't know if the world will put up for that. All right, bringing it back here to the U.S., of the major things going on here in our economy, it relates to inflation. I alluded to it a little bit ago with Kashkari. Mester, another voting FOMC member, says Fed can hold rates steady, not in a hurry to cut. So they're all on this same page now of echoing a similar sentiment of, hey, the world needs to know that we feel no particular pressure to cut rates. Well, there's pressure, but we're just simply not going to do it until inflation meaningfully comes down. It's already been coming down, but it needs to come down more because there's certain subsectors, particularly in the world of housing and the world of services and some other things such as insurance, that are proving to be sticky, i.e., they inflated and their rate of inflation is still going up. So to clarify with prices are never coming back down. I want everyone to know that. This concept of price increase, inflation is the velocity at which prices are going to increase. So they're looking for the velocity to come down, not prices themselves. They're not really going for deflation here, and we're not going to get it. I mean, name a time in history when prices actually come down. That's not their goal. It increases counterparty risk. They don't want deflation. They just want the rate of increase to finally come into that normal 2% goal. When I say normal, that's like what their like literal Fed mandate is to go for 2%. So this concept of inflation has come down, why don't prices return? That's not mathematically how this situation is going to work. Prices are never returning. The goal is we're driving very, very fast in the wrong direction, and we're going to keep driving in the wrong direction. We're just trying to go a bit slower in the wrong direction. So if you're looking around and you're like, oh, okay, like maybe prices are not coming back down. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Surprisingly, I'm not the one who designed our economy, but we are in a forever expanding credit system. So money's always going to be loaned into this into our system, and the balloon's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. What they're attempting to do is control the rate at the increase of this forever expanding credit system. So with the dollar perpetually being devalued, obviously prices are going to just keep going up because you're going to need more and more of this less valuable thing, i.e. the USD, to buy whatever you're trying to buy. So if you're sitting around thinking, oh, okay, like when we take care of inflation prices, no. If anything, you're just hoping that you start to get paid more on a ratio basis relative to whatever your normal expenses are. As of right now, there is an upcoming FOMC meeting at the end of April, start of May. This one isn't really popularly talked about just because we all kind of know nothing's going to happen. There's a 98% chance that we stay at the current Fed fund rate of 5.25%. There's a 1.6% chance right here that they increase it. That's probably not going to happen. I'd bet a lot of money that we're just going to stay exactly where we're at. The interesting thing is actually the mid-June meeting. So for quite a while, there was about a 70% chance that in the mid-June meeting, we would cut down. Now there's only a 17% chance. At one point, it got up to 75, 78. They're like, okay, June comes, we're going to get one rate cut. We're looking good. But over the past couple of weeks, the odds of it, what's going on in the bond market and thus the yield market, has actually suggested that, no, now there's an 82% chance in the June meeting that we actually stay at the current Fed fund rate, which is a big shift over the past couple of weeks. If you go to July, there's still a 57% chance that we stay at 5.25, obviously about a 40% chance of some sort of rate cut. By the time you get to September, it obviously does increase. In fact, it's more likely that we have at least one rate cut by September. So instead of June, they're kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit in terms of the market and the market's, prediction of when we're going to get the rate cut. But at this moment in time, I would say, I can't say definitely, I can't guarantee anything. I would bet a lot of money that we're not getting a rate cut in May or June at the current situation. What might change that is the PCE report that we get next week. I believe it's next Friday, so 8 days from now. If that inflation report comes in pretty low, pretty cool, okay, maybe we'll be all right. But also the recent CPI report is suggestive that it is not going to come in cool. So just something to consider. Now, obviously, we're not the only country in the world with inflation. We're not the only country in the world where our central bank has to make serious decisions. The European counterpart to our Fed is the ECB. The European Central Bank should cut in June to avoid falling behind inflation curve, according to policymakers. So once again, a lot of similarities between the US and the UK. There is a cohort of people saying, hey, you got to start cutting. They might not. I think they're going to, it's very, very similar. They're going to be like, nope, we're going to intake data. And if the data is appropriate, we might cut then. But please remember, the ECB was slower to react. The US was very, very aggressive at first. Well, maybe not as aggressive as we all thought that they should be, but relative to other central banks, the US Fed was actually one of the most rapid to respond to inflation. And also they were arguably the most aggressive in terms of how many rate hikes they were doing, the size, the pacing, all that good stuff. So we had other players who were a little bit behind. And the reasoning for that is because of their considerations geographically of where they are and how they get their energy and pipelines and coal. And it had a lot more to do with kind of the craziness between Ukraine and Russia and what was happening then and their proximity and their dependence on a lot of those countries for energy. So a little bit of a different problem, and that's why they were slower to react. That's why they were less aggressive. So I don't necessarily believe that they would be cutting before the U.S. just because they started their whole battle a little bit later than we did. They might, but I don't think that the rest of the world would really look at that as an intelligent decision. But hey, what do I know? All right. So now that you have a better idea of some of the current inflation stuff, I do want you to know that early this morning, we got on every Thursday, you get an initial jobless report. Came out pretty much at expectation. They were expecting 215. We got 212. The Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, considerably higher than expectation. They're expecting 1.5, came in at 15.5. So just want to throw that out there. And then for any of you who are particularly interested in real estate, we are getting existing home sales in about 48 minutes. So let's switch it up to the individual companies. Obviously, we kind of did a debrief already on ASML, which did not have a good earnings yesterday. This morning, we heard from TSMC. After the market closes today, we're going to be hearing from Netflix. So that's going to be kind of the first major tech play. And then Friday before the market opens, American Express, P&G, and Schlumberger. So let's get into TSMC. TSMC beats first quarter revenue and profit expectations on strong AI chip demand. Well, the last time I checked it, it was not in the green. So let me switch this over and see how it's doing early this morning. TSMC. I always mess up this. Is it TSM? I always mess up the ticker symbol because it is it's an ADR, an American Depository Receipt. Okay, it's ASM, or excuse me, TSM. So TSM currently down 4%. So even though the headline of this sounds pretty good, the market not the most stoked. It closed out yesterday at 139, currently trading at 133. And once again, this ties to the bigger picture of the semiconductor industry, the hype, the fervor behind AI and crypto and all that stuff, maybe potentially coming to a little bit of a breather here. So obviously TSMC is the world's largest producer of advanced processors and counts companies such as NVIDIA and Apple as its clients. So NVIDIA and Apple are the designers, TSMC is the manufacturer, and then they manufacture it with the machines from ASML. So that's a little bit of how the whole, I guess, it fits together. Obviously, that's a very high level overview, but ASML makes the machines. TSMC is the actual fabricator, and then the designer for how to make the chips and whatnot is from the individual companies, NVIDIA, AMD, Apple, Intel, Qualcomm, that type of stuff. A strong demand for AI chips is being led by the proliferation of large language modules such as ChatGPT and Chinese clones. So the net revenue, it beat expectations, and then the net income also beat expectations. So my best guess of why the market's reacting poorly, if you look in the rear view mirror, things were good in the quarter. Obviously, that means something has to be an issue with their forward-looking guidance, but we could take a deeper dive into it and kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the story after the market opens, because there are other things we need to get into, such as the fact that Musk had to apologize. Yes, Elon Musk taking a rare turn of events and actually saying sorry. Musk apologizes for quote-unquote incorrectly low Tesla severance package. Here are the details. Elon Musk says in an email that Tesla sent incorrectly low severance package to some laid off employees. So incorrectly low, and he said that they would be corrected immediately, but there aren't really any public details of what the correction is. And this all relates to, I guess, 2 days ago now at this point. Elon sent out an email saying, hey, we're going to have to lay off 10% of the global workforce because times are tough right now for the EV world. To take a quick look at Tesla right here, I'm still targeting 152. As I've been saying, I called this out literally at the start of the week. It broke below 164, kept going, and it looks like this morning we are actually going to be opening below my target. So if you took that trade, massive congrats to you. All right. The other final major thing we should get into is when I said go woke, get fired. So I know the saying is commonly go woke, go broke. But Google employees were staging a protest, like a sit-in in their boss's office. Here's a little bit of a video.
Google, you can't hide.
Google, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Google, you can't hide.
Google, you can't hide. genocide.
Sundar, you can't hide.
Sundar, you can't hide.
Google, you can't hide.
Google.
Well, as they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Google workers arrested after 9-hour protests in Cloud Chief's office. 9 Google workers were arrested Tuesday night after staging a sit-in protest at the company's offices in New York and California. The arrests, which were also live streamed on Twitch by participants, follow rallies outside of Google office in New York, California, and Seattle, which attracted hundreds of attendees. The protest, led by the No Tech for Apartheid organization, focused on Project Nimbus, Google and Amazon's joint $1.2 billion contract to provide the Israeli government and military with cloud computing services. So they were sitting there. I don't necessarily understand the point of the mask. I don't know that connection to the genocide, but hey, I guess they made some cool shirts. But yeah, no, they got fired because that's the dumb way to go about it. Even if you have those thoughts, there's a professional, reasonable way to go about it. If you act like a child, you're going to be treated like a child. That's what toddlers do. They go out, they scream, they make a big scene about it, and that you're not going to get what you want. So even if you have that thought, I'm not even necessarily trying to get into like, is their opinion right or wrong? I'm saying there's a proper adult way to go about this to get what you want at the end. You don't just stage a 9-hour sit-in in someone's office. That's stupid. That's really stupid. Google terminates 28 employees after a multi-city protest. Google terminated 28 employees Wednesdays after a series of protests against labor conditions on the company's contract to provide the Israeli government and military with cloud computing and AI services. On Wednesday evening, a memo told Googlers that following investigation today, we terminated the employment of 28 employees found to be involved. We will continue to investigate and take action as needed. I think this guy, I mean, when you're calling out one of the most influential tech leaders of our time, dude, he's going to come after him. He's going to come after him hard. I don't think it stops there. I think the people who are getting fired probably are never going to work in the tech industry ever again, if I had to guess. Anyway, I don't have to because of you guys. I get to do this with you and hang out with you day in and day out. So it works out anyway. If you want this newsletter, it is 100% free. You'll get it to your email inbox every single weekend. I break down what happened in the week. I give you an idea of all the major macroeconomic events. So for today, Thursday, 10 a.m., U.S. leading economic indicators, existing home sales. We have 2 different Fed chats today, both from Bostic, 11 a.m. and then 5:45 tonight. And then Goolsby will be speaking tomorrow around 10:30, so an hour into the market. I give you all the earnings. I highlight the ones I think you're going to care about. And arguably most important, I give you the seasonality for each individual day. For today, Thursday, April the 18th, it's a slightly bearish day. The bulls have only won it 48% of the time after the past 2.5 decades. Profit factor below 1. Here's a look at the hypothetical equity curve that would be created. So bullish at 1 point, slightly bullish, kind of neutral. Past couple years, more so favoring the bears. Obviously, this is no guarantee. It's not the most strong seasonal day we've ever seen. I just want you to have an idea of the seasonal influences today specifically. And then also, if you get into locals, which is how you can get the newsletter, on top of locals, that's the membership management. You could also choose to sign up for Discord if you want. Yesterday, I ended up making 1.4K. Here was the trade called out at 10:04 in the morning, April 17th, 10:04. SPY call credit spread, bearish confidence 4 out of 5. Q call credit spread, bearish confidence 4 out of 5. If you ended up taking this trade, it would have made you $104 at the minimum sizing unit, and the minimum sizing unit was $296. So for every $296, you could scale it up to your heart's desire. But that alone would have paid for 2 months of the Discord, and the first month is free anyway. So you could have got a free month, and then the next 2 months paid for all for free by just being in here yesterday alone. And then here was my personal trade. I sold 20 SPX call credit spreads, sold it at $1, collected at 40, collected at 20, so made $1,400 before fees, so paying for almost 3 entire years of the service. On top of that, not only do you get Piper strategies, you get my callouts, other traders callouts, all their education, private lectures on the weekend. It's a pretty cool spot. If you want to check it out, like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And we're going to skip the 5 things to know before the stock market opens, because generally they don't really have an impact on the things that you should or shouldn't know. What we're going to do today is come over to you guys and As you can see, I've decided that you guys have been so horribly bad at picking lately that we're going to have to do a new form of a competition. So this is the 6th trading competition. The first 2 were won by Rumble. The next 2 were won by no one. The 5th one was won by YouTube. But at this point, because of your horrible, lackluster performance, it is time to put the chats back together, and you're going to be going against the magic wheel of destiny. So one account on the right here, wheel. The wheel is going to decide if it's bullish or bearish, and you guys together will be competing against that. So I need you guys to vote right now. Rumble, are you feeling bullish or bearish? I need some sort of agreement between the two. If the 2 chats don't agree, we'll just ping pong back and forth every day. And we'll just kind of go from there. And then obviously the other side is always just going to be decided by the wheel. All right, bullish over there. You guys, more people on YouTube, if you guys could quickly vote, because it's a really small margin right now. Okay, more. Okay, it looks like it's pushing bearish. All right, you guys are more so pushing bearish. So chat bearish, and then the wheel. Obviously, red is bearish, black is bullish. Let's see how this is going to go. This is going to be the wheels. The wheel is going bullish. The wheel is going bullish. The wheel is going bullish on the day. All right. So on the left side, you have the chat, their account right here, 182. And then on the right, you have the wheel, 183. The wheel is going bullish, feeling confident about it. And then over here, you have the chat. So just so you guys know, YouTube started off more bullish and started to trend down to 50-50. And at the same time that I asked, Rumble definitely went a bit more bearish. That's why the chat's vote today is bearish. And this should be firing off in about 20 seconds. So here's the plan. We're going to be trading like crazy at open. I have a bunch of other strategies running right here, as you can see. So the opening is going to be a bit hectic. And then around 9:45, maybe we'll get some idea of a trend. Piper will probably fire just past 10 a.m. if there is a nice trend on the day. But overall, at this moment in time...
Order submitted. Target filled.
Well, the wheel already crushed it.
Target filled.
And you guys crushed it too. So the wheel hit it first. You guys hit it second. But day 1 of trading competition number 6, technically the wheel and you guys are you guys tied right now? You're tied. All right, so coming out of the gate, right here, only 2 trades have actually fired off, and 183 is the wheel, made 135 realize, and then 135 was made by the chats together. So good start. Obviously it's going to be quite the road because you guys really messed up the last 3. Well, technically YouTube won the one yesterday. Before that, both chats completely horribly missed it. But let's see how things are going. I'm actually thoroughly surprised that nothing else is traded yet. I actually don't really get what's going on here. What's happening? Why is this not traded? Why is nothing else traded? Is it on? I think it's on. What's happening?
Order submitted.
All right, something traded. What are we at? 144. All right, 144 decided to trade for hopefully a profitable reason. Let's go. Let's lock this in.
Target filled.
Nice. Okay. We got something locked in. What about 164? 164 also went short. Come on, lock it in. Easy peasies.
Target.
There we go.
Target filled.
Okay, now everything's starting to trade. All right, maybe it was slow. It was trying to decide. It was trying to make up its mind of what it wanted to do. Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing more stuff fire off. I'm not going to complain. Maybe it just really wanted to be a bit more confident. To be honest, I was a bit nervous because I changed quite a bit of the code this morning.
Target filled.
All right.
Order
One of them
submitted.
just traded again, doubled up. This one's apparently trying to double up as well. What are we doing? That one went short. It went short at the low of the day. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Why is it doing this to me? Does it know something I don't? Does it know something I don't?
Order submitted. Target filled.
All right. So 2 of them have traded. Oh, we have another live one.
Target filled.
We have another live one. I guess that one already hit 155. It was a little quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 more accounts to trade. 8 more accounts to trade. 8 more accounts to trade. 180. I should probably turn this one on. I was testing this pretty complicated strategy, so we'll throw the test back on and see if this one fires off. 180. We'll see if this bad boy fires off. All right. Interesting opening thus far. A little bit bearish. In fact, maybe gets horrifically bearish soon. First minute, indecisive. That's why the robots took forever. Quickly traded down to yesterday's close. The Qs broke below that. I'm watching the low value from yesterday, 424.90. The SPY, a bit more strength, a bit more, but still maybe potentially gunning for yesterday's closing value of 550. So watching that. If we look at the futures market, the 5-minute was bearish, tried to go bullish, got smashed. Same thing with the 10-minute, same thing with the 30-minute. If you look at the NASDAQ, the 5 minutes vomiting, the 10 minutes vomiting, the 30 minutes vomiting, and the daily's not looking so good. So out of the gate, the bears are in control. Now, remember, it is only 3 minutes into the trading day, so a lot could change. This could be obviously one gigantic fake out. That totally could happen. That's a very real thing. Will that be the story today? I don't know. We're going to do our best to kind of monitor the news. There are reports at 10 a.m., so I want everyone to know that at 10 a.m., we're going to get some, what was it? Here, let me go back to the newsletter. Most of the time, I feel like I'm writing the newsletter for myself to be able to reference it. Okay, so at 10 a.m., we get U.S. leading economic indicators. So 10 a.m., we do have some stuff coming out, existing home sales and leading U.S. economic indicators. And then 11 a.m., Bostic will be speaking, a Fed member who recently has been arguably a bit more hawkish, but I guess you could argue the whole Fed situation has been a bit more hawkish. So anyway, and options are getting crushed out of the gate this morning. Okay, so the price action is perfectly in line with what we're seeing in the options market. The 0DTs are diving, the all expirations diving, and the price is diving. And this is all for the S&P 500. If we switch it over to the NASDAQ, slightly different story. Some people are going a little bit more bullish on the NASDAQ. It was bearish this morning, but they're pulling a U-turn. I find the movement in the SPY, the overall market, to be a bit more influential, but that's just obviously a personal opinion and you could use whatever you want. But it is interesting to see how it all kind of aligns, where the SPY, the options were completely diving, no reprieve, while the Qs got a bid in the options market and actually kind of stalled out a little bit. But also probably worthwhile that maybe people are just reacting to it hitting yesterday's low, close, not the low, not yet, at least. If you are bearish, my next level on the SPY would be 550, the closing value from yesterday. The odds of that being hit are decently high. It looks like we have DJT in the top right here vomiting. Apple, slightly green. Bitcoin, slightly green.
Order filled. Target filled.
All right, that one was way too quick. Missed that. Oh, what was that? What are we doing? What in the world are we doing? All right. Just arbitrarily trying to figure out what did or didn't trade. What did or did not trade? I don't know. I guess it's a waiting game. We have this bottom chunk of accounts that haven't traded yet. So I guess the market is looking for something that, or the robots are looking for something that the market hasn't done yet. I would have preferred that they all just went bearish out of the gate, but c'est la vie. It is what it is. The SPY just hit that first target that I was talking about, the 550. Oh, brother. Things are vomiting. This is another brutal day. There. Wow. Volatility is picking up, and it is picking up rapidly. Jeez. All right. What do we have going on? As of right now, volatility is actually a little lower than it was yesterday, but also that might just be a time being type of a thing. Wow. Some of this stuff. Where are we even at? some of this stuff is considerably juiced right now. Where's SPX? SPX. Wow. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. We do have those indicators. Is this stupid? We'll see. I do want to remind everyone that we do have a report coming out at 10 a.m. Meta's having a good day. Meta's having a decent day. Well, I guess the bearish votes kind of knew what was up. Oh, I like how YouTube, I didn't close the poll, so you guys have been switching it up. What is the difference with the ticker and symbols DJT and DJTWW? Well, DJTWW isn't a stock ticker. It's a warrant ticker. It's the warrants for DJT. It is the warrants for DJT. All right, we're slapping in some orders just to see what happens. Slapping in some orders. I wonder if there's going to be a big volatility correction today. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. The SPY has today already vomited from just above 502 to below 500, which I thought would be a big reaction level. A bigger reaction level might be the SPX at 5,000. I guess we could set up an alert. Add alert. All right, alert set there, dude. This is a straight vomit. I guess congrats if you've been riding puts. All right, I know someone in here is degenerately riding puts right now. How much are you up? Let's get into it. I want to be jealous. I want to be jealous of someone's gigantic gain. So who is it? Who thinks they have the winning put lottery ticket right now? I mean, this is just, that was hemorrhaged. Absolutely hemorrhaged. 1,550 cents. Well, I hope your 50 cents becomes $5 soon enough. I hope you 10x it. I know someone in here swung puts, and when you got up this morning, you were probably sweating. You're like, dude, what do I do? How do I handle this? And now you're looking good. Netflix, XLE, XLF, XLE, XLF, dude, those ones are vomiting. Jeez. Look at this. This is just getting hit. Hit. Testing. Okay, yeah, it is on. Happy Friday, Junior, everyone. Hope everyone in chat is killing it. Do I see a bull flag forming on the VIX? So the VIX, just so everyone knows, is the volatility of the S&P 500. Let's go to the 30-minute. Kind of. I mean, it's popping, and then we had lower highs. Like, we're kind of getting this flag pattern. I mean, overall, like, flag patterns are not that good of patterns. Like, these pennants, these flags, I know they're commonly preached as like super great things to trade off. When you actually back test them, the accuracy, they're not that good. Like there's definitely an edge. I'm not saying there's not an edge, but it's not something that arguably is like the best thing ever seen. It's just simply not. I'm just more interested in the fact that volatility broke out and it's holding above this previous high, suggesting that things are juiced. People are expecting larger moves. ATR is expanding. Range is expanding. Premium is really, really juiced. The fact that it's just above 18, which when we were in these doldrums of like 13, 14 forever, that was so boring. It was so incredibly boring. So if anything, I'm just looking at the fact that it's kind of seemingly breaking out higher highs, higher lows, and I'm actually hoping volatility keeps going up because there's just more opportunity for all of us then, more opportunity to ideally make some good trades, make some good investments and whatnot. I like the opportunity. I like the swings. Thank you, Joshua. Are used primarily for scalping? What's used for scalping? Flags are only valid for a small time frame. I think you just made that up. I don't think you have any math or like statistics to back that up. Flags are only on a small time frame, and they are primarily for scalping. I think you literally just made that up. You're just like, nope, this is my own opinion, and I'm going to state it as fact. But I highly, highly, highly doubt that is backed by. I highly doubt that's actually backed by your research or research that someone gave you. I've been using them for over 15 years. It's a breakout indicator. Once again, what are the stats? I mean, people always get into their own anecdotal biases, the actual facts. I've been using them for over 15 years. It's a breakout indicator. Yeah, what are the odds? I mean, you could call it whatever you want. You could call it Charles for all I care. Calling something, you called it a breakout indicator. Okay, is it good? What percentage of the time does it work? You said it's only good on small time frames. What's a small time frame? To some people, that's anything intraday. To some people, that's 1 or 3 minutes. Like what you're pitching is just like arbitrary. It's not well defined. And when it comes to the world of trading, if you want to be successful, you need to be absurdly well defined. Trading or the concept of success in the world of trading is those minute details. Nuances matter in this game. A little nuance is very arguably could be the difference between like a massive gain or a massive profitable trader or a really crappy, shitty, horrible trader. Like all that happens. Fact, Matt is handsome. Have a good day. Zach, that's kind. I don't know if that's unanimously agreed upon, but that's very, very kind of you. Who controls the chart? This chart? Are you saying like right now on stream or just like in a general sense of like who controls Wall Street? I use flags to sing national anthems. That's probably one of the most realistic ways to use it. Yeah, it's good. It's over 50% easily. Over 50%, that's your line in the sand. Everything about the market's 50-50. It's over 50. If it was under 40, that would actually be something uniquely bad. That would be worse than randomness. I mean, 50-50 is literally your starting case of just like, oh, yeah, like the market, we go up, we go down. In fact, you could argue that anything below 54 is bad because the market has a 4% edge, as in 50 plus 4, 54% chance versus a 46% chance on any given day of being bullish. So really, if you're not outperforming 54%, you probably shouldn't be actively trading. You should probably just be investing in the market and moving on with your life. I mean, 54 is definitely the key line in the sand that you should care about. Dude, Tesla's getting destroyed today. Went to 152, that level we were talking about, clearly got rejected, vomited straight to 149. Bitcoin's attempting to recover a little bit, 62.4. BlackRock is shorting DJT. Don't let them win. Is that true? Or are you just making something up? No excuses. I don't think BlackRock's in the business of explaining who they're short. I don't even know if they commonly take short positions. Where BlackRock is shorting. Oh, just true. So by the fact that you're saying it, it's inherently true. Bro, where are you getting it?
Order submitted.
What was that? What just happened? 176. Hello? Did it go long? It did go long. Why did it go long? watch the market. Oh, wait. So your reasoning that BlackRock is shorting DJT is by simply watching the markets. So you literally just saw the markets. Like you let me just try to figure out exactly what happened here. So you think DJT is being shorted by BlackRock by you just looked at it. You're like, no, that's the fucking sign, brother. That's the sign,
Order
brother.
filled.
You see how silly that is? Do you see how stupid that is to be like, just fucking, I could see it, man. I can, it's right there. It's hidden. You could see it. It's right behind this candle, brother. It's right there, dude. Like, it's just on the other side of the candle. You could see it. Dude, that's the dumbest shit ever. News. Okay, so now we've upgraded it. We've gone from watching the markets to now news. Okay, what news? Share the news, dude. You're talking to thousands of people right now. If you have the evidence, if you have the news, if you have a single shred of truth, you'd be able to explain it to all of us. Show it. I will happily show it to the entire stream right now. You just have to produce a single shred of evidence. Like, just, that's all. I'm not even saying like a plethora. I'm saying a single shred of evidence. Like just one piece of data, one factoid that somehow backs up what you're saying beyond, I saw it in the market.
Order filled.
Right there in the market,
Target
man.
filled.
I think we're in an awkward. Ooh, what is this one? Oh, well that was the wrong direction for sure. What kind of comeback is this? What kind of freaking comeback is this? So things are still red, but after the vomit, a decent bounce, almost back up to the opening value. We'll see. They are against Trump. They are against Trump. Trump trade and make markets every day. I'm not here to argue. No, I mean, generally when you argue, someone has like somewhat of a valid point. You have no point. You're just saying, and the crazy thing is you might be right, but it's insane that you're so confident in your opinion with no evidence. That's the crazy thing. And it's people like you that give all the right-leaning people like a bad name. And then we see the same thing of the counterpart on the left. You are a perfect example of someone who states something so confidently with no evidence, and then the other side, in this case, because you're obviously right-leaning, the entire left side thinks the entire right side is like you. And it happens both ways. Obviously, we have dipshits in chat that are on left-leaning, like Chris over here, and same thing. So then the entire right side thinks the entire left side is like that. So you're the worst example. And it cuts both
Order
ways.
filled.
Like, I just don't understand why so many people are so confidently spewing bullshit that they know nothing about. You don't know what you're talking about. You have no evidence to back it up, and you give people on the right side a bad name, similar to Chris giving people on the left side a bad name. You have to have some sort of evidence. You have to have some sort of logic, but you don't. Okay, I'm done with your insults. Bye. It's funny when someone comes in here spewing bullshit, they can't back it up, and then they start crying. You hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. And it's actually kind of interesting of both of these people. No excuses, a right-leaning person who has nothing what they're talking about. And then you have Chris, a left-leaning person who doesn't know what he's talking about. And they both go to that. They're like, man, my feelings are hurt. So really, you guys, it's not a linear thing. It's more of a circle. You two, the extremes in here are actually closer because you start just crying about your feelings. You're like, oh man. So I think we just solve the polarization here. Is the extremes of two groups are not extremes because the shape we're dealing with is a circle. I mean, if anything, Chris here and No Excuses have way more in common. I did 85% last year. What did you do? 85% of what? Complaining on the internet like a Karen? I didn't even know that they track those metrics, man. That's interesting that you somehow know how much crying you did. Matt's going to start a civil war. I feel like I'm going to end a civil war. I'm going to stop it before it starts. Growth? I can tell, man, you've done no growth. You've done absolutely like no growth. There is no way you grew at all thinking, I just saw it in the market. I saw the market. I saw that BlackRock was shorted. Like, dude, you can't produce any information. And like I said, you might be true. I'm not even necessarily saying that you're definitively wrong. You might be right. But the right answer here is to say you don't know, because you don't know. You're making things up. You're literally just letting it rip. Letting it rip. Why so mean? I don't think it's mean. Why is it mean to call stupid people stupid? This is why we should bring back bullying. If you grew up past 2000, it's just there's so much evidence of people who didn't grow up in like the Call of Duty or Halo chat rooms. Or if you didn't grow up playing Recess, like talking shit to your friends every single day, this is why we got to bring back bullying. Because it's all these people that just, my feelings. My feelings. Can I move funds between stock side and saving side on public? I can't see a way to do it. Like, are you in a treasury account or like a high yield account? Because some of those are distinct accounts, like a different regulatory process that you have to sign up, and they're probably not going to be as smooth as you think, but that's just because of literal like regulation. Bullies' lives matter. Hobby, I was never against bullying. I mean, obviously there's an extreme here, but I think a little bit of bullying. One of these days, we could bully excuses enough to like maybe be reasonable. I'll buy you a beer if you're close to Michigan. When you at Genius? Where you at? Wait. Did you call me a genius and misspell genius? Because like, that's obviously a little bit of irony. Like that's particularly funny. I'll buy ya a beer if. Well, you used the wrong your, and you misspelled genius. I think I'm dealing with I don't know if I'm dealing with the top brass. But do you see how that disconnects? So like simultaneously, this is how you communicate, but then you want all of us to think that you somehow have like this inside knowledge of BlackRock, one of the most competitive Wall Street titans in existence. You're like, you know what they're doing, but this is your communication ability? Maybe you're really good at solving puzzles. I don't know, man. But to tell people that you were up 85%, dude, it's just, I mean, you can lie as much as you want. That's probably most of the internet at this point, but like at least make it somewhat believable. One day, 13 hours until the Bitcoin halving countdown should be going down tomorrow evening. The time has been changing a little bit. Okay, it's getting pushed a bit. Okay. My biggest conspiracy theory of the day is that people are gonna slow down the transactions just so the halving happens on 420. Big conspiracy theory of mine, but I think that's what's happening here. I think people are gonna actively transact less just to get this over so it happens on April 20th, aka 420, rather than on the 19th. That's my hot take. For a while there, it was sitting at 9:30 p.m. Then things sped up, so it got moved earlier, and the expectation was around a 7:30. and now it's slowing down, and obviously it's getting pushed to 11.20. So I bet they slowed things down even more just to, I don't know, just for the lulls. Obviously, it's a pretty interesting troll community, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Do I have a position? I do have a position. Apparently, realized loss of 470, unrealized gain of 340, so net of 120. And oh wait, I don't think you guys can see this right now. Right here. Realized loss of 470, unrealized gain of 335, so net 135. And it's just trading on a new strategy that I'm attempting to get figured out right here. Just some like weird bars and stuff, but it looks like it took a short position on the NASDAQ is what is currently going on. I don't know why these other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 haven't traded yet. I guess they're just not feeling the vibe of the day. They're just not feeling the vibe of the day thus far, but that's all right. What is really going on today? We had that huge vomit out of the gate. Pretty hard comeback. So we puked straight up for 10 minutes. Little bit of a comeback. It's not my favorite way to trade, but I think people would react to it watching this trend line. Here, I'll make it blue just so it stands out a little bit more. I think that the bearish wave might continue if this is broken down. The Qs are already breaking down on that. So just something, decision time. Not only are the Qs at the intraday trend line, but they're also at the low from yesterday. So it seems like the tech sector is kind of what's dominating the market's movement today. The SPY a little bit stronger. So tech basically looking like crap. Energy is bouncing back. Financials are bouncing back. So XLF, which is the financial subsector of the S&P 500, looking pretty good. Looking pretty strong. We're seeing Bitcoin bop. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze, but I guess not. All right, we have a report coming out in seconds, 18 seconds. All right, let me just get this up. We have the leading economic indicators. So we're going to have a burst of volatility here in 1 second. Let's see if I can get the information for you. Do we think they'll have it actually on CNBC? And they're out. Profit's my man who usually has the numbers first. The Qs are in a danger zone.
NBC.
Are they out yet?
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber live, as always, from Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange.
Nothing big yet.
Take a look at stocks. We've had 4 days of losses. We've started strong before, though, during the week. Can we
U.S. leading
break
index
the losing streak?
month-over-month actual, a drop of 0.3%. The forecast was a drop of 0.1.
Positive, and the Dow
existing home sales, a drop of 4.3. The forecast was a drop of 4.11.
Has led to more selling in treasuries with yields elevated again. The 10-year note
treasuries
yield
are still getting hit.
4.629. The 2-year yield just under 5%, where it's been most of the week. We're 30 minutes here into the trading session. Here are 3 big movers we are watching. Shares of Tesla under pressure again for a 5th day in a row, trading close to new 52-week lows. Longtime Tesla bull Emmanuel Rosner of Deutsche Bank downgrades the EV maker, slashes his price target. He's going to join us this hour to talk about why he's making that move right now. Shares of DR Horton,
Qs on the bottom side of the trend line. The SPY's trying to hold above.
Full-year revenue guidance.
Financials taking a little bit of a hit.
Supply certainly helping to fuel sales. And then shares of Las Vegas Sands taking a drop. The casino operator posting a big profit beat, strengthen its Singapore business, helping to mask issues in Macau, which makes up the bulk of Las Vegas Sands' revenue stream. Earnings and revenue significantly disappointing in that market.
Got some data crossing the tape, and starting with existing home sales. Let's get to Diana Olick. Hi, Diana.
Hey, Carl, good morning. Existing home sales fell 4.3% in March compared with February to a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 4.19 million units, according to the realtors. That's slightly better than expectations. Sales still down 3.7% year over year. These sales are based on closings, so contracts signed in January and February. Mortgage rates stayed lower in January, then shot higher in February. Inventory did improve slightly, up 4.7% month to month to 1.11 million homes for sale at the end of March. That's a 3.2-month supply. Inventory is now up 14.4% than March of last year, but more supply is not really helping home prices. The median price of an existing home sold in March was $393,500,
Wow.
up 4.8% from the year before. It's also the highest price ever for the month of March. Now, the market is moving faster, with the typical home sitting on the market for just 33 days compared with 38 in February. Investors pulled back a bit, making up 15% of sales compared with 21% in February and 17% in March of
How's the
last year.
market
First-time buyers
Still
made a
trying
big
to decide.
comeback, though. 32% of sales, up from 26% in February
Options are
and
still,
28%
unless this is old
the year
data.
before. Of
Oh,
course,
it is.
Sarah,
It's
not
a little bit
helping much
behind. Let
by
me
mortgage
reload
rates,
this.
which moved higher this week again.
There you go, Diana. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Looks like we're
especially
starting
on
to
those
dip.
higher prices, which has been part of the problem on inflation. Also, just getting the leading
Flow
economic
alert here at
indicators
9:50.
out moments ago.
Starting to drop.
LEI down 0.3%.
Yeah, people are
The street
buying
was
longer-term puts right here.
Negative 0.1%.
Calls
so
are
that was
dipping a little bit, but more people are loading into
it's usually
puts.
a pretty good tell
Yeah,
on future
prices coming
economic
down.
performance. Really has not been this cycle because it's had a lot
Here's
of
how the
submitted.
trade is
recessionary
doing, up
indications,
600.
which we're not seeing in the data at all. Just look at jobless claims today. We got that.
Target filled.
Again,
Order
really no
submitted.
concern about layoffs in the
What?
workplace and no stress in the labor market. If you look at that weekly read of American filing for jobless benefits, it continues to show pretty good news. I mean, there's the bar chart.
Target filled.
212,000 applied, 3,000 less than expected, unchanged from the week before, David. You just aren't seeing the stress. And you got the Philly Fed numbers, also came in better than expected, just continues to fuel this idea that the economy
Order
is in a
filled.
good enough place with inflation ticking higher and the Fed not having to do anything about it right now and not being able to cut rates. And the continued Fed speak points in that direction.
I know, it's funny though, in the last hour, Jim and I both sort of shared, anecdotally at least, and well, more for him, he was talking about Prologis, he was talking about warehouses,
going for a
which
bigger
obviously
target than
are an
I
important reflection
anticipated.
of certain parts of the economy and weakness to a certain extent there. I was sharing anecdotally some numbers from someone I know who runs a bunch of restaurants in the Southwest, talking about declining check numbers and just who believes the consumer is more stressed. I don't know, Sarah. It's potentially an interesting moment, and Jim called
Are
them
these
brown
Heiken-Ashi?
shoots.
No, these are
Brown shoots.
Ranko.
Yeah, things that we should at least just keep an eye on that
These
would seem to
are
defy some of
Ranko,
the overall numbers that we're getting.
I would put the
Ranko
delinquency
bars.
rates for credit cards and the brown shoots camp.
RENKO.
Discover
RENKO.
CFO. We have some commentary on the consumer that backs up what you're saying. David.
All right, we don't need that exactly at the moment. So yeah, Bitcoin halving, paying attention to that, should be going down either tomorrow night late or early Saturday. Obviously, kind of depends on where you do or don't live. The SPY was showing signs of breaking down. So were the Qs, but maybe the old fake out breakdown. What's going on with the options market? So we saw puts coming in aggressively, but they've kind of flattened out now. Flattened out. And just for any of you in the Discord, Piper has not fired. I haven't forgotten about that. It just literally hasn't gone off. I know it feels like it's somewhat of a crazy volatile day, but in reality, we just haven't had that much of a range. Like the price hasn't had that much momentum. Maybe I should go back to blue. All right. All right, what time is it? It's 10:06, so we have enough movement on the day. I guess it's safe to say that we could start marking out some highs and lows to know for range breaks. All right, we'll add some alerts. Don't want to miss it. A little bit of a pop up here. Which means my position's kind of getting screwed, unfortunately. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for so big of a swing. It's definitely swinging for the fences on that one. All right, we'll see. I did want to listen to this. This is a clip from NPR CEO Catherine Mayer on the concept of truth and truth in journalism. This has been going viral now for the past day, and obviously people are not the most happy with her. And I think after you listen to it, you'll understand why, especially given her position.
The hard things, the places where we are prone to disagreement, say politics and religion. Well, as it turns out, not only does Wikipedia's model work there, it actually works really well. Because in our normal lives, these contentious conversations tend to erupt over disagreement about what the truth actually is. But the people who write these articles, they're not focused on the truth. They're focused on something else, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years of working with these brilliant folks, I've come to believe that they are onto something, that perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact,
That's
our
insane.
reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done. Now, that is not to say that the truth doesn't exist, nor is it to say that the truth isn't important. Clearly, the search for the truth has led us to do great things, to learn great things. But I think if I were to really ask you to think about this, one of the things that we could all acknowledge is that part of the reason we have such glorious chronicles to the human experience in all forms of culture is because we acknowledge there are many different truths. And so in the spirit of that, I'm certain that the truth exists for you and probably for the person sitting next to you. But this may not be the same truth. This is because the truth of the matter is very often, for many people, what happens when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. So we all have different truths. They're based on things like where we come from, how we were raised, and how other people perceive us.
You know, I didn't think I was going to agree with her, but I do. For example, my bank account and I have two different truths. My bank account thinks I'm poor, but that's not my mindset on the situation. Obviously, as she said, there are many, many different truths in this world, and my truth is the fact that I'm actually rich. I am rich beyond all control. Lots of money. Money. That's just one example. Like right now, the market might think that the SPY is trading at 501.60. But if you have calls, you're like, no, we're trading way higher. And if you have puts, your truth might be that we're actually trading way lower. That's delusion. That is delusion. It's not delusion, man. Maybe we shouldn't. As she said, she's not saying truth doesn't exist. It does exist, which is kind of an interesting concept that we even have to state that. Like, no, seriously, I want to make it clear that I think truth exists. But it's interesting that she thinks it shouldn't be at the forefront, especially in the world of journalism, which is the most fascinating thing, because isn't the point of journalism to get the truth out to everyone? Fascinating concept. Truly fascinating concept. Blows my mind. What is happening here? Why is this position still in a position? Oh, we got into one of those weird situations where I'm simultaneously long and short. I'm long on the NASDAQ and short on the S&P 500. I don't like those. I generally like when I just don't like this truth. Hence why I no longer believe in the concept of truth. This is not my truth. It's someone else's truth. Truth is AMC's going to the moon, and you can't accept that reality. It's not my truth. It's as simple as that, man. It's not my truth. All right, so the Qs are back up to their closing value. This is exactly where it got smacked. Huh. Interessante. I don't even necessarily know which one is long right now. Oh, of course, that one. Of course, my least favorite one. The 5-minute is trying to battle back to actually legit be bullish right here. The 10-minute a little bit farther to go, and the 30-minute even farther. All right, well, I'd prefer that one of these hits. Like, why not a quick pop, lock in those gains, and then a drop so I can lock in my other gains? I don't think that's that much to ask for, you know? It's my truth. Well, time will tell if I'm losing money or making money today. Only time will tell. I just hope I made the money on the accounts that I need. Net liquidation. Good. I just didn't want to blow up the first 8 accounts. 166. That one's fine. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8. The ones that I could actually get payout requests for, they all hit. It's these top 8s that I officially did the payout request just to keep everyone in tune on this particular storyline. But on the top 8, I requested $2K from each one last night. So that should be $16K into my account if all 8 are approved. 141, 42, 44, 49, 51, 54, 55, 58. So these are all, they've all traded for at least 10 days and they're all above the 2.6K profit minimum. So I requested 2K out from each one on these top 8. And then obviously these other ones are ones that I was just attempting to continue to trade for the next payout period. What do you mean approved? When you get all those, you have to do a payout request approval, and then they have to review your trades to make sure you didn't break any of their rules. They have like a host of rules that you have to like, I don't know, be mindful of. At least that's their truth. And I guess in this circumstance, it's their truth that is the one that kind of matters. I haven't had one denied yet. I feel like I've been pretty vigilant of like following the rules as you're expected to. But we'll see. I believe the payout request for this period actually ends tomorrow after market closes. Well, technically it goes to the 20th. So I guess Saturday. Not that you can trade on Saturday, but that's where we're at. All right, where are we at? Don't forget that. So we just got the economic indicators and home sales at 10. At 11, Bostic is speaking. And then let me just double check that there's no treasury auctions today because that could also have an impact. So what is today? Auction date is the 18th. So we get the 4-week and the 8-week. They're not the most impactful. We get the 5-year. Okay, that's impactful. Okay, so there are a couple things to pay attention to still from now to the remainder of the day. Bostic is speaking at 11 a.m. And then we have a 5-year treasury auction. The results of that come out today at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. right here. Today is the 18th. Yes, 18th. Double check.
Order target filled.
All right, so that one hit. So now I'm just back to hemorrhaging on 178. Oh, why did it go short all the way back here? Why did it do this to me? Do I just want to close it like I did yesterday? Or do I think I'll get lucky? All right, I guess I'll turn it over to you guys. Do you think the market keeps popping from here, or do you think we're going to turn? Do you think that was it? I don't know. The SPY's looking pretty freaking strong. Is it the financial sector? Dude, financials have been looking good and energy has been looking decent. Utilities, not really doing anything. Healthcare is popping today. Industrials are looking. So industrials looking decent. Healthcare looking particularly good. Energy looking decent. Financials looking pretty good. Utilities, nothing. Industrials are picking up as well. Tech not doing too much. So oddly enough, it's actually healthcare. How's UNH doing today? I know they had earnings and popped after their, okay. So earnings are coming back, at least for UNH. So UNH was this, and I know not many people trade this. This is the biggest health insurance play in the market. This is the biggest health insurance company. So for a while there, I mean, it was at 553, lower highs, lower lows, vomited all the way down to 440. So in excess of $100 discount. And then from 440, we've already bounced $60 back up to like basically cutting this loss roughly in half. But all the way back up to 500. That's pretty crazy. UNH is moving. What a volatile play. That's a brutal fake out breakdown. It broke this entire shelf, broke down, and then right because of a positive earnings comes right back. That's crazy. Crazy. All right. Anyway, the SPY is continuing to destroy my position. The SPY just broke out. The SPY just broke out, and the position that I front ran this morning is now getting its teeth kicked in. The 5-minute trying to go from bearish to bullish. The 10-minute also trying to go from bearish to bullish. The 30-minute has not even tested it. It's still in the bearish territory. On the NASDAQ, the 5-minute about to test, the 10-minute a bit farther away, and the 30-minute considerably far away. So even though we're pushing right now on the time frame of 9:39 up to 10:15, when you include a bit more data, you can see that the trend is still to the south side. The SPY on a relative basis is stronger than the Qs. So the way I would think of that is if I'm bullish on the day, I would look at something like the SPY for right now, just in case it actually turns. And then if I'm bearish, I'd look at something that's weaker. Like if I'm bullish, I want something that's showing abnormal strength. If I'm bearish, I want something that's showing abnormal weakness. So whether you're bullish or bearish, I would be more paying attention to the SPY. If I was bearish, I'd be paying more attention to the Qs, just because today, whoa, dude, we just had 10 minutes of vomit, and then we are literally right back up to our opening value as if it's just nothing. Wow. How has my trade not been blown out yet? That's the part that's really blowing my mind right now. Is how in the world has this account 178? Well, I just haven't hit the 2.5K drawn. If this comes all the way back down to 5,054.25 to hit this trade, that'll be bonkers. Look at this. Vomit, bounce right back to this value, and now it's starting to decide if it wants to actually break or not. So the SPY did hit a new intraday high. The Qs got stalled out at the closing value from yesterday. So the SPY new intraday high just now, 10:15, and then the Qs lagging a bit behind. If it obviously might keep pushing, I have no idea. But watching this kind of stalled out at yesterday's close. Bitcoin is catching a bid. Bitcoin going from about 59.6K to 63.7. So Bitcoin, obviously people are feeling a little bit risk on, a little bit stoked about this halving event for tomorrow. You have DJT up 6.8%. You have RUM up 2.6%. You have Meta up 2.6%. Microsoft's down 0.9%. Netflix up 0.4%. Don't forget, after the market closes today, we're actually getting Netflix's earnings. Coin is up 5%. I have a buddy who has a lot of coin puts right now, so he's probably upset. He's probably not even up yet. He's on the West Coast, so he probably doesn't even know that he's hemorrhaging at the moment. So Bostic speaking at 11 a.m., a Fed member. I forget where he's from, but he's a voting FOMC member. And then at 1 p.m., we get the results of this 5-year auction. The SPY ran right up to its intraday high, a little bit of a liquidity grab as of now getting smacked, but it seems like the volatility is evaporating from the system. Options vomited. Let's get the specifics. People were getting puts, started to close puts. Calls were purchased, but not that aggressively. Some people tried to get into some 0DT calls here starting at like 10:13, but it didn't last that long. So even though the price action's been strong, it's kind of deceiving. The strength of the price action, the strength of this push as of now relative to the options market, a bit deceiving. The options market, not that strong as of now. As of now. Did you know BlackRock is shorting DJT? You know, I heard that from someone. Yeah, no, that I heard that. I heard that from some people on the internet now. And obviously, if you hear it on the internet, that must mean that it's the truth for everyone, right? Is that how it works? All right, I have some alerts set up just so we don't miss anything for breakouts, breakdowns. We played the truth video, which I thought was an interesting concept on life, if we're going to be honest. True story, I heard it on the Thick Matt show. No, it's all backed up. All highly checked. Oh, man. All right, we have options. Options are dipping a little bit recent. I guess people are reacting to the intraday high on the SPY. The Qs have been flat for the past 15 minutes, basically. Bitcoin's catching a bid. The thing that's moving right now is Bitcoin. So coin and Bitcoin are moving. DJT catching another bid, currently up 10%. The The Spy. Ooh, we're right back to that chop zone. It is interesting how price so quickly reverted to the moving averages. So quickly reverted. Vomit, quick reversion. Vomit, quick reversion. The 30-minute on the Qs, I suppose, is leaving a little bit to be desired. A little bit to be desired. If you are in Discord right now, I didn't forget about Piper. Piper has simply not fired. If you guys want, I could just make something up and be like, oh, yeah, totally. Don't worry about it. Like these are the numbers. But that seems not useful to anyone involved. It just simply has not fired. Are you going to talk about how BlackRock is shorting the entire market? Only reason we're going down, bruh. Manipulation. That as well. Maybe that's what the other guy was on to. He's like, if they're shorting everything by definition, they're also inherently shorting DJT. That might be true. Bostic is speaking at 4K UK time. I have no idea what time it is in the UK, but Bostic is speaking in 37 minutes. So if 4 p.m. in UK time happens to be the time 37 minutes from right now, then yes. That would be the proper math. But I don't have it. What are you guys, 6 hours? Are you guys 6 hours behind? 5 hours behind? I guess if you're 5 hours behind New York, then yeah. Yes. Yes, sirree, Babo. All right. Wait, I did have some stuff. Did I like stuff? I thought I found some stuff that I wanted to check out with all of you. What was this one? $7 for one apple. Didn't watch it yet, but I figured with a title like that, we got to learn about apples.
I literally just did grocery shopping right at Whole Foods, and look at this. Look at this.
Looking.
Guess how much this is? Okay, this is an apple. It's called a sugar beet fucking apple, apparently. And look at it.
That's
the size
quite
of my
the
palm.
name.
I thought it was probably just like $2 to $3. I scanned this mother effer. I scanned it. $7
Dude, she's pissed.
7. Literally, the moment I scanned it, I was like, wait, what? Because the thing is, I had to weigh it, and it was like I don't fucking know. And I weighed it, and then there was like one of the staff members. I was like, excuse me, is this actually $7? And she like input all her information. She was like, yeah, it's $7. What economy?
Must be quite
Genuinely,
an apple.
what economy are we fucking living in that it costs $7 to buy an apple? I could have sworn like some other apple that I bought from here was not fucking $7. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like $7 for a latte? Okay. This apple better be tasting so fucking good because I was just fucking craving an apple. I was like, oh my god, maybe I want an apple with peanut butter and cinnamon. This apple better be, and this thing that I got, this tofu was only $4. I think it was $4. I already think that paying like $5 for an apple is a lot. $7 fucking dollars. Fuck this shit, bro.
Time out. Technical. Did you guys catch what she said there? She said she wanted the apple for peanut butter, common treat, love it myself, and a little bit of cinnamon. That sounds exquisite to my palate. Why did no one tell me that that's a thing? Literally, the thousands of you watching right now, no one told me that I'm allowed to put cinnamon on my peanut butter on my apples. What? Why am I finding out about this now? Like, folks, I've almost gone 3 decades without knowing this. It seems so obvious. I'm well aware that apple pie commonly has cinnamon on it. I just never thought, I don't know. I guess I had a mental block that with peanut butter, I don't know. It's like a whole new thing. I don't know. Like, just seemed like a whole new thing. I cannot believe that we've all known each other for years now. Thousands of people talking day in and day out on the show, and not a single person has ever thought to come up to me and say, hey, just so you know, I see you're eating peanut butter on those apples. Might be better if you throw cinnamon on it as well. The fact that none of you guys have been telling me that is actually ludicrous. It is actually Part of me wants to literally give everyone in here a demerit right now. I put cinnamon in my coffee. Is that allowed? Chocolate hummus? Jader, are you all right? Are you going through something that you need to talk about? Chocolate hummus. I put cinnamon in my coffee. You all right, dude? You okay? Do you need to talk about something there? Because that seems that it seems
Order
like
filled.
something's off. That seems weird. So the SPY just made another new intraday high. The Qs are not far behind. Technically haven't done it yet. If anything, a pop at 10:09, a weird delayed reaction to those 10 a.m. reports, and then went sideways, trying to pick up this first. I mean, it is kind of a classic cup and handle, but let's see if it's invalidated. I guess I would be watching something as basic as this. It's not really my favorite way to trade, but hey, we'll throw it up on the chart, something to pay attention to. So anyway, wanted to talk about apples. Oh, this was funny too.
If you start liking Trump's and you follow Trump stuff on social media, can you be impartial? I don't really think so. And I think what could happen in a case like this is if you have someone that sneaks onto that jury with untoward feelings, that person can hang that jury.
How do you sneak onto a jury? You have to be called.
Well, you lie. You lie. You say,
Yeah, that's
I hate Trump. But I can be impartial, and I this, then that.
Sonia, you just argued that only people who dislike Trump should be on jury. Thus, you're openly showing your corruptness.
These edits. This guy is so funny. He does a lot of little skits like that, little comedy things, and just like the editing, like the awkward pause. So funny. What was this guy? Oh, this was the IRS hates this one simple trick. I figured with tax season and everything, this might be a good thing to share with you. So the IRS hates this one simple trick.
Hey there, TikTok. It's day 4 out here on the boat. You know me, living out here on the water till tax season's over, taking advantage of that maritime law, just like George Washington said. Now, I ain't got no water, but I got a 48-pack of Miller Lite. I had myself a turtle for breakfast, and I'm living like a king, baby, living like a president, like George Washington intended, man. God bless America, and screw you communists if you don't like how we do it out here on the Gulf of Mexico. Hey there,
Screw you, communists. If you don't like how we do it out here on the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, man. All right. SPY, another new intraday high. I don't know why I keep moving it so barely, but more so watching the Qs here. ES, the 5-minute is attempting to flip the cloud from bearish to bullish. The 10-minute is now above. The 30-minute, it just tested it really quick, but we'll see. So once again, the SPY is showing a bit more relative strength than the Qs. The Qs, the 5-minute is now testing, the 10-minute a bit farther away, and the 30-minute clearly far away. But the SPY kind of doing its thing. The SPY, I guess, offering a bit of reprieve to the market. A bit of reprieve. We'll see how this all really goes. Kind of waiting to see if the Qs can take out 42661. How is my one trade not blown out yet? This is on the razor's edge of blowing out. How did it just not? Fascinating. I mean, it had to be like right there. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Never would have filled anyway. I was wondering if the strategy was being a bit too greedy, but even if I lessened it, it like barely was ever in profit whatsoever. Okay, so with all of you folks knowing that Bostic's speaking at 11, with the 5-year Treasury auction results coming out at 1 p.m., with those two main considerations, with the backdrop of everything else going on, my question to you right now is from here to the end of the day, from 10:30 in the morning to the end of the day. Where do you guys think we're going? Where do you think we are going? Wait, screen frozen. I hope it's not frozen. Are you guys, from here on out, do you think that this bullish push is real and we're going to just keep going, get a decent recovery? Or do you think this is just visions of grandeur and people are getting tricked into being bullish and they're going to get rugged by the end of the day? Do you think they're going to get rugged by the end of the day? So basically your options are rocket or rug. You got to go with a new low. Miguel's calling out a new low, a fake out. My foot, your ass gaming. Interesting. My foot, your ass is saying it's a fake out. Tricked. I'm for some reason feeling up. Rug, zoom out, up. Okay, so there's more bears, but there's definitely some bulls. There's some proud bulls in here. I mean, the bears were right from 9:30 to 9:39, and then even though it took way more time, we just got up back to this. It is kind of crazy. This is why they have like the whole saying in the market of stairs up, elevator down. When you go down aggressively. When you go up, it's commonly more of like just this grind. I mean, it's just the almost like the Nike check swoop. I do need to change one thing. Nope, that is not the one thing I need to change. Nope, that is not the one thing I need. Where are all these? The testing. Okay, I gotta turn that tester off. Was not the appropriate time to be testing, I suppose, especially with this strength that we're seeing. Look at the daily. The daily over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, just lower highs, lower lows, getting murked there. A little bit stronger. So technically the daily chart on the S&P 500 is actually an inside day. The high and the low are within the high and the low of Wednesday. So no clear trend quite yet on this time frame. Obviously trend is kind of up to you in your own time frame and like what you do or don't care about. Dude, the Qs. Seriously, this is still not blown out? They're about to blow out. If this pushes anymore, this account will be blown. So that won't be getting across to the finish line, unfortunately. I've definitely been having... I even had issues with ES yesterday. Maybe I should just stick to NASDAQ here because I've just been having so many problems getting any of my systems and my stuff to work on ES. Feels like NQ I'm a little bit more of a fan of. So for the people who are calling out a rug pull, I would love for that to happen, except I need it to happen now. Like this is pretty much the extent of the pain that my account can take because it's going to get cut at 2.5 and it's at 2.1
Order
right
submitted.
now.
Target filled.
What in the world was that? I don't even know what that was. I thought it was this account getting blown. Nope, this is the only one. I very rarely on the futures market am trading ES, and then when I do it, this is why I don't do it, because it just ends up blowing out my account, so I can never get these payouts. All right, so for all the rich billionaires in here who are controlling the market, you've proven your point. I'm sorry for talking shit on you, but I would be very, very appreciative if you could drop the market. I would be very, 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 very appreciative if you like, and not just like at some point today, but like now, if you could just make this the high water mark at 1036 and just hit us with the old reversal, I would be, nope. Okay. I feel like you think I'm joking, but I'm actually being very serious, very sincere. I would appreciate it if you could just do this, the opposite, because this is not. The Qs hit a new high. The SPY hit a new high.
Order filled.
It took awkward. What is Yep, just lost it. All right, so this account not going to be able to get to the payout period. Bit of a bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. But hey, I guess of course, like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about this and I'm like, oh, you're just being greedy because so this account I'm not going to be able to get the payout request from, but I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16K there because I'll get 2K from each of those. So I guess I'm just complaining. I'm like, oh, instead of 18K, I'm only getting 16K. So like, I don't know. I guess that's a bit more greedy than anything. It's just nice to get more money, you know? It's just nice to get a bit more money. But obviously, all right, so that's what a recovery. What a recovery. DJT's still holding strong too. The old 10-minute fake out to the rippity. We've gone from 502 down to breaking 500, 499.70, then back up to 503. So we ran up to the opening value of 502, pushed a whole dollar higher. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. We'll see. We'll see. That's quite, I mean, if you just look at the market from 940 to now, that's crazy. That's wild. 5-minute starting to go green on ES. This might be an actual trend change. Like if it's going to get smacked and go continue with the bearish trend on the smaller time frame, it would kind of have to do it now because if we start to on the 5 to 10 and the 30-minute time frame push above and close above and start to get all the clouds to go green, that's just straight up bullishness. Even the 5-minute on the Qs are now above the cloud. The 10-minute is battling it out. The 30-minute's not testing. So that's why I'm more so watching EOS because I'm starting to see this cloud turn green, the 10-minute above its cloud. So a couple more bars that could turn green. And even the 30-minute might be the old reversal, the old switchity-roo. What is this? Oh, I think I remember this. I think this is a pretty reasonable way to hide your gold, your money, maybe other important things to you. You gotta watch this one. It's wild.
Nobody's gonna know.
Hide it in a pepper.
Gonna know. They're gonna know.
Repaint the pepper. Hide the pepper in a hammer. Smart. That's smart. Okay, and then hide the hammer in furniture.
How would they know?
With sunflower seeds?
I can't. Oh my God.
That's how you hide it.
Nobody's gonna know.
So just in case, just in case, they would have to go into the furniture, go into the hammer, in the hammer with seeds in it, sunflower seeds, then they would have to find the pepper, and then it's in the pepper. That's a reasonable way to hide something. That's probably the only way to hide something, honestly. What are we doing? Do we pause it? Let's check in on options. Okay, so options had a pretty big rip up until that spike at 1037. 1037. Ooh, there is a put wall here at 5,000. Interesting to note. 1037. Huh. This recent congressional stock trade stood out to me. Shout out to QuiverQuant. Let's see what they found.
For those of you who haven't been paying attention, behind the scenes, members of Congress have been very busy. And I'm not talking about passing laws. So far this year, members of Congress have bought and sold more than 230 publicly traded companies. The reason I'm telling you this is because I make a living tracking these trades. Or more specifically, trying to figure out whether a trade was just a scheduled reinvestment into a lawmaker's retirement account, or if it's a very calculated trade based on unique insight that only the lawmaker would have. Because if that's the case, the stock might be ready to make a major move, and or the lawmaker can be held accountable. But with so many different trades being made, it's easier for that second type of trade to slip through the cracks. I'll give you a perfect example. Just last week, I saw that Representative Josh Gottheimer bought stock in a company called Perella Weinberg. Stick with me. At the time, I glanced right over the trade and quickly forgot about it. That was until yesterday when I noticed that the stock had jumped more than 20% in the short time since Gottheimer bought it. So I started doing some more digging and noticed that Gottheimer sits on the House House Financial Services Committee, whose exact purpose is to monitor and pass laws for companies exactly like Perella. And if that wasn't enough of a red flag, he is also one of only 6 members of Congress who have received political donations from employees of Perella. And before you wave that off, it's just a coincidence. There's over 1,000 people running for the 119th U.S. Congress this year. The fact that he's one of just 6 that received donations is enough of a reason for me to keep a close eye on Perella going forward. But the more eyes on this info, the better. So check out the Quiver site to track their trading for yourself.
That's wild. That's so wild. Yeah, no, just 1 of 6 to get the money. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. YouTube has declared war on Timcast RL, retroactively enforcing rules against our 2 biggest shows ever, featuring Joe Rogan, Michael, and Real Alex Jones. The show is 3 years old. They gave us BS reasons for the removal. Yeah. Why invest in index funds at all when you can just pick the top individual stocks?
This is what index fund gurus don't tell you about index funds that make me so angry. Yes, investing in index funds is better than not investing at all. And I think if you follow me, you probably understand the importance of investing. So that's not the issue, right? After I grew my investment portfolio from $500 to millions of dollars, I decided to listen to one of the index fund gurus that popped onto my social media. And I'm like, you know what? Let me add an index fund to my portfolio. Do you want to see the results and the difference between individual stocks and index fund? I'll show you. Understand that even index funds, the best of the best index funds, majority of their growth are basically carried by like a handful of stocks. If you just spend a little bit more time, a little bit, we're talking about 1 hour per week. This is how your results can be different. Watch. Here's my $4 million portfolio. Look at the gains here.
100% real.
Starting from 200%.
100% real.
Until we finally get to VU here, which is way lower than my top performing stocks that are basically carrying my entire $4.7 million portfolio. And I also maximize
that's
my
real
profits
money.
by using
That's
something
real.
called buy and sell limit orders long term. And I do it all in only 1 hour per month, even though I'm super busy and not a math whiz. Following my simple 5-step diamond system. Comment diamond, I'll send you my free masterclass on it.
Comment diamond. Yeah, no, it's that easy. It's if you want to be better than some of the smartest people on this planet working together hundreds of hours a week, all you need is 1 hour. That's all you have to do. 1 hour. Oh, she went from 1 hour a week to 1 hour a month. So maybe that was a mix up. So let's just go with the concept of 1 hour a week. So for simply 52 hours a year, you can beat everyone. It's just her 5-point diamond system. It's honestly that easy. It's just, that's how you go from like $1 to a $4 million account. And don't worry about that. That is 100% real. There's no reason to, there is no reason whatsoever to question her, because it's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. Just an hour a week. That's all it takes. And that's how actually Wall Street, that's the big secret Wall Street doesn't want to tell you, is they get so far ahead because they just do 2 hours a week. They double up. They're like, well, hang on. If this girl with her money can grow to 4 million, what if we double that? And they work 104 hours a week, or excuse me, a year. They double it up. They go from an hour a week to 2 hours a week, and that's how you become a billionaire. And it's really, that's the only big difference that Warren Buffett has done in his career, of how he made billions, like of why he had such an outsized return, just like such insane success, is because, and a lot of people don't know this, so you might want to write it down. It is exclusively because he actually works 3 hours a week. That's how you do it. Just crushing it. Just absolutely crushing it. Oh, what the fuck did I do? Today's not my day. I'm not liking today. All right, is that a real shark? Yep. No, very much a real shark. Exclusive. Catherine Meyer says she has abandoned a free and open internet as a mission of Wikipedia because those principles recapitulated white male westernization. Oh, dude, this is going to be an interesting one. What's this? She seems like a great gal.
I started by talking about the idea of free and open as some of our founding principles, sort of free and open source coming from the idea of the open source community. Well, I have come to the opinion and the perspective that free and open was a way of looking at the world that was inherently limited relative to what we were trying to achieve. Free and open has the best of intentionality, but in the end, what free and open often ended up doing, and particularly in the case of Wikipedia, was really recapitulating many of the same power structures and dynamics that exist offline prior to the advent of the internet. And so what we ended up seeing was Wikipedia really rebuilt this idea of knowledge as a whole around what the Western canon. You see the exclusion of communities, of languages, because of the ways in which Wikipedia is based on reliable sources. The idea of a written tradition is something that is particular to the idea of a written tradition, which is particular to some cultures and not to others. The ways in which we ascribe notability often really comes from sort of this white male westernized construct around who matters in societies and who is elevated in whose voices. And so some of these ideas of sort of this radical openness really did not end up with the intention, really did not end up living into the intentionality of what openness can be.
Yeah, so obviously you need more limitations for more openness. That makes sense. Like if you have more limitations and more of an authoritarian regime, more of people who like decide what's true or not, that's how you get more openness. That makes sense. If you don't think about it at all, it makes a lot of sense. DJT is up 20%. Making some of them recovery gains. You know what's not recovering is Apple. Apple's only up 10 cents today. So the SPY vomited the first 10 minutes, and then ever since then, from 9:40 until now, it's been a skyrocket higher. The Q's doing a similar path, maybe not as exuberant, but the same thing of first 10 minutes were rough, huge vomit, and then skyrocket. And that's where we're currently at on the day. That's where we're currently at. Did Piper fire? No, it hasn't. And I guess that might seem surprising to me. It's not, just because basically you had this giant momentum that was quickly undone. So really the net difference is just like a little bit of movement right now. So it's just not enough for Piper to fire because it was extremely bearish. It would have been a 5 out of 5 bearish, but then I have it wait till 10. So it didn't fire at that point because we didn't keep going. And then the movement since then has been bullish. So it's just kind of counteracting it. So we're just not really doing anything. How's my Street Beat doing? Oh, phenomenally. It's crushing it. My Street Beat. I have various strategies on Street Beat, and I think they're literally all in the green. Piper is your priority software. Do you mean proprietary? As in, is it mine? Yes. If you're asking if it's my priority software, I guess I don't understand the question, but I think you mean proprietary. All right, let's see what you guys sent in. Oh, I saw people talking about this. The U.S. Air Force is paying $90,000 for a bag of bushings that normally cost well under $100. Ooh, spicy. Spicy. So this is Mr. Waltz.
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings.
Bag of bushings.
This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, they need a high school diploma. It's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000.
That's crazy.
This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine. just to operate.
Well, there goes our tax dollars.
So the exorbitant cost due to DoD only buying commercial parts from the OEMs, which is essentially sole source, is literally driving us out of business. I mean, the interest on our debt alone is now exceeding, for the first time in American history, the entire defense budget. We can't afford it anymore.
That's crazy. $90,000 for something that should be under $100. There goes your tax dollars to work. That's way too many words, so let's just watch it.
The easiest side hustle right now in Canada is crime. If you're a starving senior and you're having trouble making ends meet, I can help you. I stole this watch and these pearls, and now I can have fruits and vegetables. And get this, stealing one Lexus and shipping it to the Middle East will heat my home, pay my taxes, and put food on my table for an entire year. I'm an elderly Robin Hood. I'm robbing from the rich and I'm giving to the poor, which happens to be me. It can work for you too. Crime is an easy way to supplement your income because the policies here in Canada favor the criminal. Homeowners have
Things
been
never
advised
taught
to leave
in
their
the
car keys inside
NBA
the front door
schooling.
for your convenience. And that way you don't have to confront the homeowner. No worries if you do get caught, because the police will put you in jail, and by mid-afternoon, you'll be out in time for bingo. If you're lucky, the homeowner might throw something at you and cause an injury. They will be held accountable, even though you are the robber. The police will help you navigate through the legal system and help you with your rights as a criminal. Becoming a criminal here in Canada has enabled me to live the remaining few years I have left with dignity, instead of the shame and humiliation that I have suffered as a dumpster diver. Sign up for my webinar on crime, and we will talk about fashion, black of course, and matching accessories. Crime really does pay.
So savage. So savage. I'm a fan of her. Michael Saylor's house in Miami Beach was worth $100,000 in 1930, about 100 years ago.
My house in Miami Beach was $100,000 in 1930. It was appraised at $46 million a few years ago. Do the calculation. It's on a path to be worth $100 million, which means that the U.S. dollar will have lost 99.9% of its value over 100 years. Warren Buffett knows this. Charlie Munger knows this. Basically, the bottom line there is your money in the bank isn't money. Okay, so the answer is you shouldn't have any money in a bank, right? You're basically losing 7% of all your wealth every year in a good year. If it's the dollar, you're losing 15% of your wealth. My house.
I mean, you really shouldn't be heavy on cash. That makes sense. That's a crazy appreciation. We need to vote this guy in office ASAP.
Well, you know, not all the people running for president are names you know or faces you've seen before.
Vermin Supreme will take away your guns and give you better ones.
Of course, it wouldn't be a New Hampshire primary without my favorite perennial candidate, and again, he is real, Vermin Supreme.
They have all sorts of people listed here who got some votes. Vermin Supreme.
My name is Vermin Supreme.
This platform includes free ponies for all Americans and using zombies to create energy by harnessing the latest in hamster wheel technology.
Vermin Supreme.
Okay.
Ballot.
I'm here today to actually endorse Vermin Supreme on the Democratic ballot.
Come out with your hands up and your pants down. We have you surrounded.
I'm a friendly fascist. I'm a tyrant that you should trust.
He's a presidential candidate college students are showing up for.
I came here for Vermin. Yes, I'm a politician. I will promise you anything your little electorate heart desires because you are the informed voting public and because I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make.
We are not going to pass this border package. He better not pass funding for Ukraine.
Vote early, vote often. Remember, a vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote completely thrown away.
Sign me up. Vermin Supreme 2024. He's got my vote. He's got mine locked in. Women in sports continue to push new boundaries and inspire us all, but right now we're seeing that even if you're the best, women are not paid their fair share. Miss. Nice recovery. Miss. Miss. Defense. Miss. Miss. Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. So college. I think maybe it was just really good defense. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe everyone's assuming that it should be amazing offense, but maybe the real issue is they just have that good of defense. Something to consider.
What do you want? You want a rich husband?
Yeah, I like your watch.
Thank you. Thank you. I got a little money, but
50% of it. That's better
50?
than my ex.
Yeah. Oh yeah? Wow. I love it. I love it. I hope you find a rich
For a
husband.
rich husband. At least they're honest about it.
Tired of working. I need a rich husband.
For a rich husband. Let me know if you find one.
Okay, where are you from? I need Italian.
From money.
For money. Wow. Wow. Welcome to Miami, baby.
I like how honest they are.
What do you want?
I like the honesty. How to handle someone placing a Biden 2024 sign in your yard.
Hey, sir, how's it going? How are you? I just live around the neighborhood. I work for the Biden-Harris campaign.
No, don't stick that in my yard.
Oh, no, I'm just going around the neighborhood. I noticed you didn't have a sign already.
I don't want the sign. Take it out.
Oh, why not?
Because Biden sucks. Please.
Oh.
Seriously, no.
Do you not care about the country, or?
Please take it off my property, and you get off too. I'm serious.
Okay, well, I'll just leave it there.
You will not leave it.
Yeah, I'll just leave it there.
No, you won't. Watch this. I'll put it in the back of your truck.
Oh, I'll just leave it here.
Get it out.
Okay. You guys put it right here?
Do not put it in. Okay. I'm about to shove it up your ass. Do not do it. Put it up. Okay.
This is obviously a no
You
prank, but it's pretty funny.
Okay. Oh, shit. That's my sign.
That's my sign.
Would you rather vote AOC?
Go get it. I don't want you on my property. Get the fuck out and never stick that shit in my yard again.
Okay.
Pissed.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I...
Definitely gonna get DMC in on that last part, but that was funny. Soon.
Don't.
Why?
Dude. Where do you guys find this stuff? Where do you find this? This man got a deal of a lifetime.
Somebody else put that label on there.
That doesn't mean we need it. Why would you buy that much cheese?
Because I was trying to FaceTime you, and you wouldn't answer the phone. So I made an executive decision.
So much
I
cheese.
didn't do anything wrong. I saw something labeled at a price, and I bought it.
And how much did you pay for that?
Approximately $10.44.
And how many pounds of cheese is
Probably
that?
like 20. Maybe more.
That is a deal.
And what are we going to do?
That's a deal.
Clue.
Got 20 pounds of Parmesan.
$10?
You are really proud of yourself, aren't you?
He found a deal.
44 pounds of cheese?
Somebody else.
That's a deal. Dude, the guy knows a deal when he sees a deal. 44 pounds of cheese for $10. And $7 for an apple. Yeah, we live in a reasonable world.
What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Right now, a 10.
I'm sorry, what?
Right now, a 10.
Okay. Do you think other people would agree?
I don't really care what other people think, but yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll find out. What would you rate this girl on a scale of 1 to 10?
0. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Hey, E.T. fall home. Come on, man. Somebody died and lied to her.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, what would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 10. Off the top.
Okay, you think other people would agree?
For sure. Personality-wise, for sure.
Okay. All right, we'll find out. And what would you rate this guy on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 4.
4? What would you rate yourself
so
on a scale of 1
hard.
to 10?
Everyone just bagging the next person. All right, last one. Oh, this was a crazy response. I can't lie.
What's something that you really hate about a guy?
When I'm trying to go to the bathroom on 6th Street and they're like, hey, can I ask you a question?
Well, y'all fucking suck. What's something that you really hate about a guy?
This poor guy. He said, that's me. That's funny. Hey, can I ask you a question? Market's still going up, so we haven't really missed anything. Literally the perfect Nike swoosh recovery today. Perfect Nike swoosh recovery after a huge vomit, decent recovery. And now we're just awkwardly, Bostic is starting to speak now at 11. And then don't forget the Treasury auctions at 1 p.m. Folks, it's pretty much what I have for you. If you want to do some of that Apex trading, it is in the description of the video. And if you want to sign up to Discord and trade with me, other members, private lectures on the weekend, that's all pinned to the top of chat right now. You sign up for Locals, and Locals is the membership management. That's how you get connected to the Discord. If you have any issues, reach out to me, media@MatthewKohrs.com. DM me on Twitter, DM me on Discord. DMing me on Discord will probably be the fastest response, but if maybe you're having issues with Discord itself, I understand you might need another avenue to reach out. That's what I have for you right now. I appreciate all the good vibes. We'll be posting an update video tonight at 7:15, and then we're going to be streaming again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. Hope to catch you there. Peace out.